Yo, what up, what up? It's your boy C's from theseasonlife.com, and in today's video, we're going to be doing a deep dive when it comes to personal training and social media marketing. I have social media marketing, or even marketing expert right over here building several businesses online, and he's going to be sharing with us his tips and tricks to basically help you guys along your journeys, right? Because social media is a daunting task, especially with all the competing ad space and everything going on, the algorithm change. So I was like, yo, let me tap into my man Christian over here and see what he can come up with. So let me let him introduce himself. So Chris, who are you? What is it that you do? Introduce yourself to the
people. So my name is Christian Neal Jones. On social media, you know me as Chris Neal. Basically, you know, I'm a branding, marketing. I call myself a branding marketing expert, but more so on the branding side. I know a lot of people say, you know, people kind of get things confused when it comes to branding, marketing, and then there's also a third element, which is sales. Yeah. You know, but for me, I'm very much on the front end of it. It's about getting clarity on your brand, because now once you have a brand, now you have something to sell. Yeah. Now you have something to put in front of the people. And when you talk about putting something in front of the people, that's marketing. How do you take my brand and put it in front of the right people? And I think the problem that a lot of people have is they're not putting their content in front of the right people, but because they don't know who those people are.
Yeah, or they don't have like a clarity of what this brand represents, so they're just trying to flood the market.
Exactly. So they just, so they throw a wide net with no intention. I mean, listen, you know, you throw a net into the ocean with no intention of what you're trying to catch, you're gonna catch a lot of different things that you didn't intend to. You know, all I wanted was lobster, but I caught all these other fish. No, that's not what you wanted.
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly. So what is it that you normally do within your agency?
Within my agency, so really, what I end up doing is taking people through a 3-step process. So step one, you can't build a house without having a strong foundation. So we really go hardcore into the foundation of your brand. Like, who are you? What do you do? Why do you do it? Like, what are those core elements? But one of the big questions I ask, like, tell people to define their greatness. Mm-hmm. I say, define your greatness means remove all humility. Like, tell me people why you're the shit. Why you are better than the other trainer, why you're better than the other group fitness instructor. Because at the end of the day, when we come to the personal training and fitness industry, it's a very saturated, very crowded market. So it's really hard for you to kind of stand out. So, but what is that thing that says, yo, I am the greatest. I'm the greatest at what? You know, and I tell people, it's like, because sometimes people struggle. I mean, I know fitness industry is kind of a very, I would say, image conscious market where people kind of like, you know, they're self-absorbed, or they're really into themselves. But sometimes people have a hard time communicating that with words, like saying, oh, well, I can't say that I'm the best. No, say you're the best, but tell me what you're the best at. You know, sometimes you say, okay, I'm a trainer, but you may not be the best at all things. You may be the best athletic trainer. You know, I might be the best at helping people lose weight. I might be the best at really helping people redevelop their mindset. But what are you the best at, and why should I engage you? And I think that's one of the core foundational questions that I ask people. From there, now it's like, okay, now how do we deliver on that value promise? You said you're the best at it, but we got to deliver on that promise. So what are those systems and steps that we're going to take that says I am going to deliver on that over and over and over again, right? So then now we talk about execution, right? Mm-hmm. But then after execution, now it's about the follow through. How do I make sure that when I leave, they remember? It's kind of one of those things where, you know, we talk about execution, right? So you talk about, and the other part of it is like, when you talk about your brand, me as a branding consultant, is I got to now understand the structure of your business. That's the skeleton. You have your structure of your business, which is the skeleton, but then you have your brand, which is the muscle. Mm-hmm. That's like, what are your strengths? What's the strength of your brand? That's really going to allow it to endure, right? So when understanding that, it's like, how do I make sure that when I leave, you remember? So when they leave, okay, what are those things that I keep that's going to remind people of what my brand represents? You know, and that's when we get into the whole social media.
It's sort of like that, what do they call that? The anchor, right? The anchor point, where it's like in their mind is like, okay, I'm having this problem. Let me go check up on this X page.
Yeah, and I think when we talk about fitness, I can go on and on about this, but like even with the fitness people, they haven't sat down long enough and slowed down long enough to figure out where they're trying to go. You know, like they're a trainer. You know, all I want to do is be a trainer. but they haven't thought about the business.
Yeah.
They haven't thought about the marketing. They haven't thought about the strategy. And the things, people who are winning, they're not winning on accident. They're winning because they're winning because they took a moment and figured out, okay, how do I put these layers on top of what I do as what is my greatness, which is the fitness and training. Mm-hmm. But how do I articulate that? How do I communicate that value to the market through my content online?
So that's awesome. Like, speaking of that, you've helped like several fitness brands like launch and be successful. One of them being your mom, right? And the other one is near dear friend to us, Sweat Remix. So let's walk us through the steps when it came to helping your mom launch her business, especially during her social media campaign.
So the mom story is actually pretty much how I got started. I would say my mom was like my biggest and most, when I say, important clients. So with her, you talking about, turning your passions into paychecks, right? So we talk about she did childcare for a long time, and she raised a lot of kids in the neighborhood, things like that. But one thing she always did on her spare time was she always trained people. She was always in the gym. She's a former professional bodybuilder, so she prepares people for competitions, things like that. But then, after I graduated college, we had a crossroad. It's like, okay, mom, like, if you could do anything, with your career moving forward, like, what would that be? If you had unlimited resources. And she's like, you know what? I would do personal training full time. So from there, me and my sister, we sat down talking. It was like maybe a couple weeks before her birthday, and for her birthday, me and my sister pitched the business, gave her a business proposal. We gave her a pitch, and we said, hey, we want to start a fitness business. Would you like to partner in? Of course, she said yes, and then she kind of, we started forming a family partnership, basically a family business for fitness and personal training. And since then, she's quit her job. She's doing personal training full time. So that's kind of like the genesis of it all. From there, I just kind of really leveraged my skills to say, okay, how do I create her image? Because she already has a reputation. That's really what a brand is, your reputation. But now, how do I create a symbol that symbolizes and represents what she's all about? And one thing that people always remember her for, when, like, for instance, if she ever signs her name, she always puts a smiley face in her signature. And I was like, I really like that. So when I did out her logo, I said we gotta incorporate that somehow.
Okay. And what's her fitness handle?
Yeah. So her fitness handle is Ceyon Fitness, at Ceyon Fitness. So it's CEYONNE Fitness, Ceyon Fitness, and she produces a lot of great content.
And were you guys able to get a ton of leads through your content?
Yeah. So it's so funny, when we first started, you're talking about starting from ground zero, and people always like, when we launched it, like, I'm a type that I don't know how to be basic. Like, I gotta go big or go home. Like, it's all or nothing. So when I pushed it out, like, I gave her people reached out to her like, hey, where's your studio? Hey, where's your corner office? Or, it's like they're just reacting, thinking that this is whole big corporation, this big army behind her. It's like, no, it's really just her and her 2 kids behind her,
Wow.
So, but it was like that perception that we created.
Yeah.
People thought, oh, this must be a huge operation because of the image and how clean all her marketing material was at the time. They're like, wow. So as far as leads, leads is not, it really hasn't ever been an issue. It just can't.
Is
come
there can you take us through the process of setting up the? Because these guys are pretty much brand new. I do also have some questions from the audience. Is there a process from okay, I'm setting up my social media handle. I just got my personal training certification, and I'm looking to generate more leads. Can you walk us through that process?
One thing I say is be consistent. So it's not just about being consistent about putting out content, but be consistent in what you say and what you do. So from a visual aesthetic perspective, it's like, what's the look of my account? Because many times you go on an account and you stumble upon someone, you click on it. What you're looking at, you're not looking at just their last photo. You're looking at a series of photos. So how does that look aesthetically? Is there a consistent brand image that they created through with filters and all that stuff? But whatever you choose, just be consistent with that. So that's one thing. And consistency is huge. And then the other piece of it is value. I asked you, like I said, I asked the question of define your greatness. Whatever that greatness is, we're going to communicate that over and over and over and over again.
Just
repetition. You know, it's repetition. I'm gonna keep repeating. If I tell you, you know, I call it the Muhammad Ali effect. Mm-hmm. I'm the greatest.
World's greatest.
I'm the greatest. I'm the people's champ. Mm-hmm. He said it enough time, and you know, and guess what? He followed through on winning, right? And he still lost to something, but he still said, even in those losses, he said, I'm the greatest. And what do we call him?
The greatest. And
so
now he's the greatest of all time.
Yeah, so now so it's the same effect. You know, when you do what you do, you know, you could state your claim, but now do you have the system process in play to make sure you can follow through on that promise? So now when we're talking about the content, what is that value promise you communicated? Now you need to do that within what you do. So one thing I think fitness people could do more of is showcasing their clients. You know, showcasing their progress. Mm-hmm. You know, giving people workout tips. Okay, this is my workout for today. This is what I'm doing. You know, because now when I'm looking at, why like for instance, why am I going on your profile? Am I going on your profile because you look good?
Inspiration.
Am I going on your profile because you have great workouts? Am I going on there because you keeping an eye because you're following are they coming to your profile because they're following your program? You know, why are they following you? Why do you want them to? Because social media and Instagram and Facebook is changing a lot because they're really trying to get people away from the bots and the inorganic engagement. They want people to they want to create actual engagement. So
engagement is huge.
Yeah, so it's like that's the strategy now. So now you kind of have to, people who are on social media have to kind of switch their mindset a little bit. It's not about chasing the numbers. You want to figure, it's not about chasing the likes. You want to chase the comments, the DMs, and that sort of thing, because now it's saying there's true interaction. So the way I think of it is like, you got to think of it as like a cohort. Like I'm here, okay, how do I create a social club right here on my profile?
Like all the tribe just come.
Yeah, this is my club, and everyone knows that this is an exclusive club. Like we all are part of that club. Instead of thinking about it from a mass market perspective, I think a lot of times in the past people was like, I'm trying to get as many followers as possible, But actually, there's a lot more value in those 100 followers that are super
like
engaged.
Small,
you know, versus let me get as many as possible.
100,000
or 10,000, whatever like that. And I think. One thing I will criticize Instagram, Facebook about is that I think they're kind of contradictory, because I think the contradiction is, okay, there's certain features that you can't use for as marketing until you get 10,000 followers.
Exactly.
Right?
So it just further feeds.
So you're putting that carrot in front of me to chase followers, but then you're telling me don't use a bot or don't use these things to be efficient in how I'm doing that. Because Instagram, I hate Instagram, but I love Instagram at the same time. One, I'm guilty of doing the scroll for hours and hours, but at the same time, it's very time consuming when you post content, because now people will comment, people will like, people will message you, but it's like, I don't want to sit here all day doing this. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, I'm still a trainer.
Exactly.
So
that's a
challenge. So that's a challenge. So that's another thing I want to address. So the third thing I want to address is plan ahead. Plan ahead. So everyone has a job to do, especially with trainers. Your time is very valuable. If you're not moving, your business is not moving. That's the reality of the fitness industry, right? So how am I going to be on Instagram pushing my content if I'm out here training all day? Trainers there's a finite amount of time. The only way you're gonna make more is to charge more per session.
Exactly.
You know. So
you're
with
like
that,
fixed.
So with that, it's like, okay, I still need to post on social media and I still need to get engaged. Okay, what do I want to post this week? Because once you get this stuff planned out, and believe it or not, I know I'm preaching to the choir, I'm guilty of this as well, of not doing this, but planning ahead what I plan on posting, what kind of content do I want to put out, and then set my schedule in that way. So, okay, now it's not me thinking about what I'm going to post, I already planned it out accordingly. Like, for instance, if you look at my Instagram, you'll see there's kind of somewhat of a visual aesthetic pattern that I've created. Mm-hmm. That's because I planned that out ahead of time, because I knew I was going to post next. Yeah. You know, so that's another thing about planning ahead, and that really would open up your time a lot, because now you're not sitting out there, okay, I got to come up with something real quick. What caption should I use? You know, that's time.
Yeah, that's time. It's like hashtags, all of that thing.
Yeah, so now it's like, you know, so what I do is there's a few apps that I use. So one of them is, let's see if I scroll over here. Unum, so UNUM. UNUM.
All right, so we'll plug that in the description below.
So this one is a free app, and literally it'll show you your Instagram feed, right? but then it allows you to put pictures of where you want to for your future posts.
Oh.
So now when you're on your thing, it's like you're trying to plan out. It's like, okay, this is what it looks like now. I want to have a trio here. Let me just move this photo over. Maybe just move this photo here. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So Unimus allows you to kind of visually see from an overall profile perspective what I want it to look like.
So you could definitely.
Yeah. So that's a huge one. And then one of my favorite filtering apps is VSCO. VSCO.
That was like a staple back then, man. It was like one of the first visually appealing editors out there.
Yeah, and I think it's very powerful, and I actually paid for it. I paid for the premium features, whatever, so now I got unlimited filters. But, you know, I did that because I knew there were certain filters that I wanted. And once you get your settings right, the beauty of it is that you can save your previous recipes. So if I had a certain recipe that I used in the past, I just hit save. So now
we're talking about like the color grading,
saturation, you know, all that kind of stuff, brightness. I have certain ones that set certain ways. So now all I got to do when I'm trying to post, I'll put it on VSCO. I'll tap that recipe that I already created. I don't have to redo it again. Throw it in the Unum, and now that's my system. You know what I'm saying? So from a visual perspective, that's what I would recommend. That's what I do.
Okay, all right, so we got some questions from the audience. All right, so we got a few questions here. We could do rapid fire, or you could just deep dive in each one. So first question is how to make a successful Instagram.
Successful Instagram. I mean, to me, that's a loaded question. Because like, what's define your success? It's like, what are you trying to do? You know, because like for instance, like be honest, the Instagrams that I run, none of them are booming with followers, but the people who are on there are people who are on there. Like they're true evangelists,
and they're like
engaged, like previous clients. So they know. You know, so with Instagram, I think for a successful Instagram,
successful fitness
Instagram, one, offer true value to you. Tell people what you do. You know, I think a lot of times you get self-absorbed, take a lot of pictures of yourself, but turn the camera around. Like what's going on out there? Like highlight your clients. You know, everybody wants to be famous. You know? So highlight your clients.
Like not enough selfies on my feed, so might as well.
Yeah. Right? So you know, share value with your clients. I say consistency, value, and plan ahead.
And plan ahead.
Yeah.
All right. And what are the best post ideas for a fitness Instagram?
Yep. So reiterating value. Like you really need to figure out define your greatness. I cannot say that enough. Define your greatness, and once you define that greatness, be consistent in telling people and showing people your greatness. You know what I'm saying?
And just like
it's one big thing about me. It's like it's not just about telling people. It's about doing and showing that. Right?
Showing up,
you know?
and showing out. And then, all right. So last question: how do you create engaging content on Instagram? Like engaging fitness content on Instagram.
What's interesting is you kind of call it the troll effect. Why do trolls exist on Instagram and Facebook? Why do they exist?
Yo, they're like fuel. You know
what I'm saying? Yep. You call it what it is, but trolls, they do that because what they do, they provoke a reaction. I'm gonna say something that people either disagree with or something that's just so astronomically wrong, and people gonna react.
Yeah.
That's wrong. Blah, blah, blah. Guess what happened?
Yeah.
People commenting. Guess what? People reporting it. People doing stuff. But at the end of the day, it's an engagement.
That is
you
true.
know what I'm saying? So when they're talking about how to increase engagement, that's the question, right? Engagement, right? And create engagement. How do you provoke a reaction out of your audience? You know, is it a wow?
Challenging?
Is it wow? Are you challenging their previous thinking process? Are you making them laugh? That's a reaction. You know, think about what's going to get a reaction out of people. That's going to get you engagement. It's as simple as that. It's simple as that. People overthink it. It's how do I get a reaction?
Yeah,
so
like
you might even post a question. You like, for instance, you know, people want to. You know, me and my mom, I grew up in a fitness household, so there are a lot of things that I just know just because I'm growing up in that type of space. Like I basically grew up in the gym. But you know, what they say is everything that makes sense doesn't make sense in fitness. For example, the more water you drink, the less water your body holds.
That is true. Yep.
It's like, what? You know, I'm I'm holding water. People always say I'm heavier because I'm holding water.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, how do I reduce my holding water?
You gotta
Drink more water.
Yeah.
And they're like, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it's like
but guess what? That's a great post on social media because it's gonna post a reaction. Like,
yeah.
I mean, how many cups of water do you guys drink a day? Okay, you probably hold it. You probably to get a reaction. I say, well, you probably because of that, you probably holding 10 pounds. You probably sitting 10 pounds heavier than what you should be. And they can be like, and if anyone's self-conscious, they're like, damn, I don't want to be 10 pounds heavy. Like that, you calling me fat, da da da. You got a reaction.
Yeah.
Now say but guess what? I got a reaction. But I'm also telling you how to fix it. You know, that's a very reactive post.
That is dope, man.
So that's how. So from engagement, how can I get a reaction? I'm like, how do I get somebody to say, wow, laugh? Oh, I can't believe you said that. It's all,
positive. Yeah. That's awesome tips, man. Yeah. All right, so like before we wrap up, any extra tips, like any behind the scenes sort of things that you got going on? First of all, like this shirt, I've been seeing it a lot. Like, can you tell us about the whole concept behind it?
Yeah. So one thing, I always tell people you've reached greatness. Right, and so if you call my phone and I go to voicemail, I say, hi, you've reached greatness. And thing is, people always people always end up calling me greatness because they think I'm implying about me, but to me it's a subliminal message that I'm sending out to everyone else. I'm telling you that you've reached greatness. You know what I'm saying? It's not about me, it's about you. You know, sometimes people get offended by that, and I get excited. Once again, I'm getting a reaction. Yeah. I get excited because it gives me a moment to tell them, it's like, hey, if you're offended by me making that statement, then you need to reevaluate yourself. Because what I'm just telling you is that you're great. Yeah. Like my greatness does not have to dim your light. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I'm all about greatness. That's just me. I want to surround myself with great people. So the shirt really was inspired, like, you know, by Lil Wayne, like real G's move in silence like lasagna. So I blacked out the G, you know, real G's move in silence. But I'm not talking about gangsters. I'm talking about greats. The greats move in silence. I don't have to tell you what I'm doing, but I'm gonna show you I'm not gonna tell you that I'm great. I'm gonna show you that I'm great. You know what I'm saying? So that's the thing with real G's move in silence. I don't need to tell you that I'm great. You should just see it in my actions.
All the work that you put in.
I put in, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, so real G's move in silence, you've reached greatness. That's really what I'm all about. You know, like I always said it at the end of everything I do, you know, it's a good day for a great day.
All right, yo. And what's that other saying that you've been saying? It's been on my channel a lot too.
Which one?
I don't know how.
I don't know. Look, my coffee's kicking in right now. He basically invited me to talk my shit. So, look, first of all, I really don't know how I do it, but I be doing it. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, I be doing it. It's just, and I think that's the key. Just do it. Just do it. Like,
I'm a big proponent of, you know, actions create clarity. So if you are on the fence and unclear of where you like lie on the spectrum, start taking action today, and then you'll be amazed like 6 months from now. Like your vision is just gonna become clear as water on what your goal is. Like when I first started this series on YouTube, like I had the whole vision of building my fitness brand, but I had no idea how I'm going to do it. But then I just started taking action, recording every day, hitting publish every day. And as I was taking more action, the visions became clearer and clearer. I'm surrounding myself with great people, you know, and then now I'm incorporating them and their ideas onto the channel to give like further value to the viewer, right? So it's like, don't wait.
Yeah, so let's talk about that. Let's talk about that real quick. You talk about action. Take action. I know how I am. I learned a lot of what I do from YouTube. You know what I'm saying?
Like an abundance of knowledge.
All the information that you need is on the internet somewhere.
It's right at the fingertips.
No, but you know, I'm gonna do this for the people who are here. I'm gonna give you guys an action plan of how you guys, if you're on the fence, just how to get started. Step one, define your greatness. I can't put it any more simple than that. Define your greatness. What are your core pillars? What are your values? What is that thing? What are those key elements of you that make you great? And then what is that greatness? Meaning, what is it that you deliver for your client? Okay, so what is your greatness? Meaning, what do you do? If I'm engaging with you, how am I getting value from you? How are you gonna help me lose weight? Are you an athletic trainer? Are you a yogi? Like, what is it that you do? And then what are your core pillars? Meaning, how do you deliver on that greatness? Hey, I I'm very diligent, I'm very personable, you know, I'm really fun. You know, what are those key words that describe you as a person that make you great at what you do? You know what I'm saying? That's step one. Write it down, remember it. That's your greatness, okay? Once you define your greatness, now it's like, okay, now I need to figure out what's the symbolic representation of that greatness. When I see this, I associate with that, right? So who are you? Is it just it could be just your name. You can, what is it that you go, just choose a symbolic representation, kind of like, you know, you talking about America, you got America, the flag, I mean, the American flag, but it represents freedom.
Yeah.
You know, what is that symbol that you want to do? Now you have a brand, okay? You have a brand now. You know, even if you're talking about social media, choose a filter. Choose one. Choose one, maybe
and
three filters.
Yeah.
Choose 3 filters that you like. Choose 3 filters that you like. I would recommend one, but sometimes it don't work out that way. Just choose 3 filters that you like. Now you have a brand. We've already packaged your brand. You've defined who you are, your foundation. You have a symbolic representation, and you have your visual aesthetics that you have on social media. Boom. Do that on a Sunday. All right. Step 2. Now how do we mobilize that brand and put it in front of the right people? Well, who are you trying to engage with? You said you define your greatness, but now who would benefit the most from your greatness? Right? So now, okay, cool. You got a target market now. When you push things on social media, figure out what are the key things that, based on within your greatness, what are those key things that you think that people want to hear from you that will offer value to them? Is it workout routines? Is it diet tips? Is it what? Write a list. Just write a list. Now that you have a list, guess what? Now you have post ideas. You have a series of posts that you can that you want to share with the world. Yep. Now you need to figure out how you're going to take a picture or shoot a video in association with that. So,
and look, guess what? You see all the things that he mentioned there. Just by simply writing the first step down, that is taking action.
Yep.
Not just swipe it to the next video and then like, oh, this one is a deep dive on Instagram, but then you see right on to the right of the screen, like, hey, there's the recommended. Go deep down, like stop watching other videos and start taking action within these ideas. Once you start taking action with these ideas, like sky's the limit. Like stop consuming and start creating. That's like the biggest thing. And then, like, it costs you nothing. Nothing.
Yeah, what you're saying is like, okay, now we have planned it out, we have those posts. Now it's you're talking about taking action.
Yeah.
Posts, because now, like I said, when I talk about like getting a reaction, you're gonna start posting stuff, just throw it out there, but pay attention to what's happening when you get, what's getting the most likes, what is getting most reactions out from people. Like, start paying attention to that. And if you start, whatever people are flooding towards, now you need to know, post more of that.
Yeah, make
you know
more
what I'm saying?
of
It's like, for instance, my mom, you know, she was just posting random stuff, and I'm like, okay, just keep doing that. And I was like, went on her page one day, I'm like, wow, like, the posts that are getting the most, views and reactions are her workout, either her workout videos or her client highlights. And I'm like,
so double down on
I was like, Mom, every time you go to the gym, just shoot a video. Just shoot something. You know what I'm saying?
Just double down.
Yeah, just double down on that.
Yeah.
And now
they call that doubling down on your conversion points, because they're actually, engagement is a conversion, right? So if you're getting conversion on an or if you get an engagement on a post, you need to like double down and create more of that. Like dissect each and every element of that post. So if it's like for women, I know glute workouts are big, right? If you're getting a lot of views, like show people, like give people instructions on how to do a proper glute bridge, how to actually activate. Do like a 30-day like content piece on just the glutes alone.
And honestly, like I'm thinking about all the Instagram models that I follow. Like no one really talks about like the how and the why of these workouts.
They just throw them, because they're like commercials, because they're wearing the leggings, you know, they're showing their butt and they sell them.
Right. So but for me it's like, okay, we're offering true value. I'm thinking, okay, like as soon as I look at work, I'm like, there's no point in that exercise. You know what I'm saying? Especially if I'm a rookie you know, gym goer. Like I'm not used to this. I'm not going to be doing these athletic exercises or whatever. They're very simple.
It's like visually, aesthetically pleasing. Yeah,
it's like it's all about the visuals. Yeah. Like okay,
but if you're looking to build a brand, you gotta have a story, like a narrative, like a journey, like a hero's journey. Like you know, you're either going from shit to fit, or you're taking clients.
I like that.
Yeah, or you're taking clients.
A shirt out of that.
Oh, like the poop emoji.
Yep.
Oh, poop emoji. Hey, give me a stick.
Oh man, look, I'm out of trademark that. We're gonna pay some royalties.
From shit like the emoji from boom plus that arm muscle shit. Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. But it's about offering true value. And one thing that I realize is people are really quick to create a transaction.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get too quick.
Yo, like this blew my mind, right? Like the professionals, they make their money on the back end. The amateurs are like looking to make their money on the front end. Like, no, start thinking the long game. Exactly. Like when I first got into affiliate marketing, especially in the fitness, I was looking to like push my links and like get it in front of as much people as possible. But like you just offer value like your minimal viable product, and then offer that value where they'll be like amazed, like damn, you giving this for free? Imagine what his premium product is. Now your premium product is the implementation of your MVP, man. Yeah, make money on the back end.
The way I perceive that is like, it's like, for instance, I moved to a new neighborhood, right? And I walking down the street, and I knock on someone's door. It's like, yo, mind if I watch your TV? You be like, first of all, who the hell are you? What you gonna watch my TV for? I don't know you. I don't know you, right? But it'd be different if I go in there and say, hey, I just kind of want to come over and introduce myself. My name's Christian. I live down the street. Right? Now I'm building that relationship. I've introduced myself. They'll come by and they say, hey, I was thinking about you. I figured I'd bring you by. I don't know. I went strawberry picking. Leave strawberries. Right? They're like, oh, that was nice of you. Blah, blah, cool. You're building a relationship.
Yeah, offering value.
And then a week later, next thing you know, we're on first name basis. Eventually, I'm like, yo, he gonna invite me and say, hey, you wanna come watch the game with me? Right? So the same thing on social media. Create your reputation, introduce yourself to the world first, and then start to build that relationship so people understand who you are, what you're about. And then when it comes time to launch a product or create a conversion, it's very clear who you are.
It sells itself.
It sells itself.
You got to deliver results in advance.
Yeah. So even like with me, when I first started getting into branding and marketing stuff, I was designing logos and graphics and stuff for people for free.
Yo, that's how I got a ton of my video work.
Yeah,
I've been doing I
said, look. I didn't tell them it was my first time doing. I was like, yo, I'll just do stuff for you.
Yeah, it's sort of like a what do they call that? It's sort of like a case study.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like you're just testing this new idea, and then it's like it costs you nothing.
Yeah. I'll let you be my test subject. I just want to see what I can pull together for you. And they said, all right, cool. Let it in my pocket. And that's why I create a portfolio out of that. And people start saying, hey, how much you charge? And I'm like, $50. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, $100. You know what I'm saying? And over time, it's like 1,000. You know what I'm saying? And then it's like, oh wow, like people will actually pay for this if they
it's an organic funnel. Like now the whole craze right now is the new funnel hack. You're one funnel away. But if you're creating an organic funnel, what you just mentioned is an organic funnel. Like literally your prices raise as they go deeper and deeper with you. And that's happening organically. Now they have like this one funnel away where everybody is like pretty much the new digital pyramid scheme. Like no, man, you create your own funnel or you are an unconscious agent on somebody else's funnel. So just make this your last video, take action on these ideas, come back to this video and tell us like, yo, I did these, it worked, so it just cut off. So like I said, come back to this video, right? After taking action on these ideas, make this your last video, take action. Then when you come back, ask for your next marching orders, because before you even criticize these tips or even like shoo them away, just take action on them and watch your business explode.
It's simple as that. Simple as that. For instance, like I got a question for you. What's red and smell like blue paint?
What's rare?
Red. Smells like blue paint.
I don't know.
Red paint.
Red paint? What's red but smells like blue paint? Oh!
Yo, so like, it's a joke, it's a riddle, right? People overthink the shit.
Yeah, it's like
you overthinking it. Like
right.
life is like my thing is life is pretty damn simple.
Yo,
you know what I'm saying? So it's like that like literally like that joke. I'm like, yo, what's red? It smell like blue paint. Like, I don't know, red paint. Like, the game is not that hard. It's very very simple. You know what I'm saying? But do you have are you committed to the cause? I think people are interested in the outcome, but they're not committed to the process. You feel what I'm saying? They're interested in the outcome, but they're not committed to the process. There's a process to this. It's not gonna happen overnight.
It's the whole, you know, the scarcity mindset one, and they just want that instant gratification, man. Like the pros, they delay instant gratification. That's why they're like at the 1%. If you're constantly doing the same thing over and over and seeing the same results, you just got to switch it up, man.
No, but here's another thing though. It's like when you understand the process, the reason why they're able to play the long game because they know where they're going. They have clarity and outcome. So it's like, okay, here's my formula. I'm gonna do this for 4 weeks, then I'm gonna do this for 4 weeks, and then by the 12th week, I should have them at here, right? Because they have clarity. So it's like, so them it's like, they're not worried. They're not, like you said, a scarcity mindset. They're not worried about having scarcity because they know, hey, I gotta go 100 miles to get to the destination. It's like, I already know it's 100 miles. Like, okay, it's gonna take time for me to get there. I can't complain about the outcome because I already know where I'm ending up. A lot of people are out here lost because they haven't put a pin on their destination on the Google Maps. They're going in circles with no clear outcome.
So now, because they're seeing it's a shiny toy syndrome.
Yeah, so how could you play the long game if you don't know what the long game is?
Yeah.
So figure out where you're trying to go.
And then that's why goal setting is so big, right? Because there are so many like shiny toys out there, like Lamborghini ads now. You know what I mean? One funnel hack filters deluxe, all of this shit, and you're like not seeing results, not understanding the principles of the compound effect, and then knowing that all the things that you're doing today is going to pay you a year later or in the future, and then you're just like hopping from one thing to the next instead of actually doing the work.
And the way I interpret that is I have a lot of quotes and a lot of shit that I just tell people when I work with them. It's like there's a million ways to make $1 million. You just gotta choose one.
Just choose one.
You know what I'm saying? So it's easy to hop around. If you don't have clarity in what you're trying to do, you will be easily distracted. An unfed mind will devour itself. So if you haven't fed your mind enough to understand where you're trying to do, where you're trying to go, you're gonna absorb anything. So when someone plugs an idea in your head, like, oh, I'm gonna go over here. Somebody plugs something in your head, you're devouring yourself. You're gonna drive yourself crazy. You don't get nowhere.
Yeah, you know and you're just being pulled in by other, because people have the same intentions. It's like, yo, I want to get as many leads as possible. You happen to be one of those leads, and you just fall into the system. Then you just like go through their funnels. You get to the end after paying $5 grand, $10 grand, and you're so deep. Like once human beings invest into something, it is so hard for them to get out. Instead of investing in somebody else's idea, invest in your own idea, and then that is just gonna anchor you to follow your goals further and further, as opposed to just hopping boom, 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 boom.
Now we talked about this the other day, and I thought about it, and I agree with you on a lot of aspects, because I've also thought about it. Is I know you say everyone has their own individual goals as individuals and doing their own thing, and I think that we're in the season now. We're in the season of consolidation. For instance, if you look at the stock market, we're in a bull market right now, right? So it's just everything's on the up and up, but that's not infinite. You know what I'm saying? At some point, there has to be some retraction point, consolidation point to allow for it to regain energy to continue on the upward trend. So even when I'm thinking about like people in the fitness industry, I think it's a booming industry, and I think of it like a bull market. But I think everyone's moving in a very individual mentality, like me against you. And I think we're in a period now where it's like, what does it look like for these people to come together into a collective unit to say, okay, this is what we're going to do as a group.
Yeah, and then Fit Pro Development League, this is exactly what we were talking about.
So do something as a group, because now it's like, okay, you do this well, I do this. You've defined your greatness. My greatness is different from yours. And then how does our greatness complement one another?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So now it's like, okay, bringing all this together, because like now how does that work? You know, what's the desired outcome of that?
It's like you have to be like as an entrepreneur, your journey, entrepreneur's journey is a journey of contribution, right? You have to figure out your leverage point into contributing more. Like your contribution is your purpose and is your value offer, right? So whatever piece of content, even as much as a question, right? Like that's why engagement is so big, because we don't know where you're at unless you're asking the questions, and then through the answers that we give you, you can know exactly where to move or where to pivot and come to your own conclusions, right?
Yeah.
So, all right, so we just had some battery issues and card issues, but we just went on an awesome rant, and we feel like this is like so valuable that we want to bring a series like this more to help you guys out. And truthfully, this helps me out, this helps him out as well, because it brings more clarity to our mission, right? So before we wrap this video up, where can they find you?
Yeah, so first off, you know, my Instagram is the Chris Neil, so THE Chris, CHRIS, Neil, NEIL. That's my Instagram handle. Like I said, I'm all about fitness. I'm all about branding. So, you know, I follow Sweat Remix. Sweat Remix is, I'm a brand manager for Sweat Remix and helping Angela Gentile push her brand. There is really about, you know, the holistic fitness experience. It's mixing the warrior energy and the meditative energy. You know, so having that balance of coming within yourself, and then also having raging out, you know, any of your frustrations, but also, and then healing, like how do you go through the healing process and recover. So Sweat Remix, all about it. You know, we have Friday Night Lights events. We have a lot of events going on around Boston. Highly recommend you guys check that out. Of course, my mom's brand, she's down in North Carolina, Sion Fitness. She's a fitness genius. You talk about losing weight, like she consistently produces results, and I'm not saying that because I'm her son or through the family bias, but she literally, if you follow her plan, you will lose weight. If you try and prepare for a show, you will win. Like that's just the nature of my family. We strive for greatness in everything we say and do. And then other than that, follow my man C's, follow our journey.
Man, I'm here grinding. We're out here grinding.
I'm here to serve you guys.
If you guys want us to make a series out of this, like continue videos, let us know what exact questions that you have regarding your fitness, your personal training business, or like when it comes to branding your personal fitness business. And then we'll do our best to come up with another one of these videos. But we're gonna wrap it up here. Thank you guys for watching. Comment, subscribe. Holla back. Peace.